So we've all been asking the question, could something like this happen here in America? And yesterday there was a hearing focused on this. Christopher Wray with FBI and Mayorkas Border Security testified in front of the Senate Homeland Security Committee, and they focused on the threats to America. And that was the big focus. What are you seeing at the FBI? Are we seeing threats? What do y'all know? Listen.
We assess that the actions of Hamas and its allies will serve as an inspiration, the likes of which we haven't seen since ISIS launched its so-called caliphate several years ago. The ongoing war in the Middle East has raised the threat of an attack against Americans in the United States to a whole nother level. We also cannot and do not discount the possibility that Hamas or another foreign terrorist organization may exploit the current conflict to conduct attacks here on our own soil.
Do you believe, is the United States safer from foreign terror threats today? Are we safer than when Joe Biden took office, from the day he took office?
What I would say to you is that the terror threats have elevated. But I also think there are a lot of things the country has done throughout law enforcement to be better prepared to deal with them.
He also went on to say he expects attacks on military bases over there to increase. He thinks that malign influences will continue to attack American infrastructure when it comes to cyber here as well. We just heard from Rick Scott, the senator from the great state of Florida. He said, I know our Jewish families all across my state and across the country are pretty scared to death right now. He and Maggie Hassan from New Hampshire both said people are terrified. They don't want to go to the synagogue. And when you think about the number of people who are being threatened, the Jewish people make up 2.4% of the population, but according to Christopher Wray yesterday, 60% of the religious-based hate crimes happening in the United States, 60% toward the Jewish people.
The problem is that the FBI director did not lay out a plan to combat what's happening all across the country. I did not hear him lay out federal investigations into what's happening on the college campuses. I did not hear him say how they're going to address what's going to happen in all of our streets where they're openly displaying the Hamas flag and the talking points of Hamas. So, again, there was a concerted effort from the FBI to lay out what they were going to do with parents when they felt like they were terrorists for being concerned about their kids' education. There wasn't this vocal stance of what the FBI plans on doing from that position.
Lawrence, yesterday, the director said the FBI had opened one of those hate crime investigations into, remember a couple of weeks ago, that little 6-year-old Muslim boy was stabbed by the landlord and his mom was attacked as well?
That's the one he wants to investigate.
They were looking into, they said, and he was obviously attacked because of his religion. They've opened a hate crime investigation into the landlord.
Right, that's so interesting because there's a Jewish woman who's a mainstay in her synagogue at 30 years old in Detroit, was killed. We still don't know what killed her, but let's take your time on that.
They said they did arrest a man in Houston. He said this last week, for studying how to build bombs and posting online his support for killing Jews. They also arrested, I don't know if it was FBI or which
we're about to do
police.
that.
Yeah, well, we're going to tell you about it. That 21-year-old engineering student at Cornell.
So let's just look at the stats. If people want to know, are we safer today? He's got to be apolitical. It doesn't matter who nominates you. It doesn't work for you to say, yeah, Joe Biden's a mess, and he looks really old, and I wouldn't reelect him. He can't say that. He might be thinking it. Let's hope he is. The terrorist screening data set, encounters between ports of entry of non-U.S. citizens, 172. To 98 in 2022. We already have 172 pass. When asking about all different encounters at the border, 3.2 million. With the gotaways, about 6 million since Joe Biden took office. And nationwide border encounters, the country of origin of this other enemy of ours, not an enemy, not a competitor, but an enemy, China. All of a sudden, every Chinese citizen wants to come here. It's amazing. We got 52,700 here already, as opposed to 27,000 last year. That's an increase of 89%. You know, the same people that are setting up their own police stations in major cities like New York and Houston. So why would we feel safer today? Hezbollah and Hamas. It's like living in a gang-infested area with your door wide open saying, come in, please. I'm sure nothing will happen.
600,000 gotaways in this administration have
walked
over the border.
We see the back of their heads.
That we know of, right.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.